We circle back now to the dangerous threats that would be the scandal of all scandals if it weren't Trump, should be still with Trump, that he issued against Democratic lawmakers. And now he was confronted over this in an interview. And do you remember Sean Hannity at a town hall after Trump said he'd be a dictator on day one? And then later in an interview, Hannity was like, but like, you don't want to be a dictator. You're being silly. And Trump was like, no, only on day one. And Sean was like, no, but like, we're kidding. Tell them you're kidding. And tried to get him to whitewash what he said. Very similar vibe here, where Brian Kilmeade is desperately going, hey, so you said they committed treason and the punishment for treason is death. But you don't mean like death, like dying, right? And Trump essentially just doubles down. Wild moments. And this is extremely dangerous. Let me remind you, in case you missed it, then I'll play some of these clips. Democratic lawmakers who had served in the military released a video, given a lot of Trump's unconstitutional behavior, saying, as U.S. law has been, that they do have the ability and the obligation to defy brazenly illegal orders. And that's true. That's something that service members are taught. Now, there's a lot to be said about the complexities of how someone determines in order to be illegal and where the line is of trusting your chain of command versus not breaking the law. But they were reminding service members of a very basic truth. Trump lost it, posted, this is sedition. They want the military to rebel against me. Trump supporters were saying this is a coup attempt, way overly dramatic. And then ultimately Trump posted that Truth Social post saying the punishment for treason, what he's calling this, is death. And then people like Brian Kilmeade know how bad that is and don't know what to do with themselves. And this conversation is him trying to figure out if he can get Trump to chill out. The commander-in-chief saying that about Democratic lawmakers could not be more of a catastrophic statement. But here was Trump in one of the moments in this interview going, well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to kill them, but in times gone by, that would happen.
I'll tell you what they said is, and it was, I mean, I don't know about the modern day things, because, modern day is a lot softer, but in the old days, if you said a thing like that, that was punishable by death.
Yeah, but you're not threatening them. A lot of people are interpreting there's a threat and there's security.
Well, I'm not threatening them, but I think they're in serious trouble. I would say they're in serious trouble. I'm not.
Do you mean the thousands of death threats that flooded into all their offices after you said that? Is that the kind of trouble you mean they're in?
Threatening death, but I think they're in serious trouble. In the old days, it was death.
Do you worry, Mr. President?
Seditious behavior.
Do you worry
that was a big deal.
Do you worry
Today,
that
nothing's a big deal. Today's a different world, okay? It's a softer, it's a meeker, milder world. But I will say this, I think what they did is really bad. The hatred is pretty strong. But what they say, essentially don't follow the orders of the President of the United States?
Not what they said.
So to the military?
So you hear Brian. So, but you don't mean, well, surely you don't. He does. And then think about, if I'm giving him the most good faith characterization, he's arguing, darn, man, I'd kill them if it were olden days. That's the best assumption, right? From what he's saying. He goes, we're so meek. We're so woke now. We don't even kill our political opponents anymore. We're becoming so soy in our, right? I mean, he was going, yeah, I don't know about today. I'm probably going to today. They probably wouldn't be executed today for that. But in times gone by, there were these great leaders. People called them different terms, dictators even, I don't know. And when people spoke out against them, they would die. And it was like they were like these strong men. Now we're really a bunch of wussies, so I don't know if we'll be able to do it here. He's longing for that. He's not saying, no, I wasn't saying that. He's just going, I don't know if logistically that can happen now. Then it continues. While we continue through this, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate the show. It's free. Look at this. Look at this chart. Unbelievable. 56% of our viewership comes from unsubscribed folks.
Interesting.
Let's get that number down.
Your reaction was pretty direct. This is really bad and dangerous to our country. The words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors, and you wanted to say punishable by death. So people thought that you were saying death to those politicians. What were you saying?
I don't envy. He's choosing to be in this position, Brian, but I don't envy his position, having to come off this ridiculous. So you said that it would be punishable by death. What did you mean by that? I get it, that's what you said, but what were you trying to say?
Oh, by death. So people thought that you were saying death to those politicians. What were you saying?
Well, if you look at sedition, if you look at that type of, that's a very strong form of being a traitor. That's a terrible thing to say.
So he's not taking it back, I think is pretty abundantly clear. Here's a little more.
I think it's a very serious violation of the law.
I know Todd Blanche seems to be looking into it. Your assistant deputy, or your
well,
deputy
I think
attorney.
Pete Hegseth is looking into it too. I know they're looking into it militarily. I don't know for a fact, but I think the military is looking into it. The military courts.
Mr. President, this week.
The military is looking into Democrats using their freedom of speech to say, hey, here's a reminder, U.S. law states that service members can be liable for engaging in illegal acts, even if they're just following orders. Meaning, they have the obligation to defy knowingly illegal orders. Or whatever, I could have stated that better, but I think you get the point. And they reminded people of that. You can be upset with it, you can feel like they're alluding to something different, but to say the military, the Department of War needs to get involved in this, more escalatory. I think you get the point. I have more clips of that, but we get it. I saw someone post this about Biden in one of his final speeches to service members, seemingly warning of something like this.
Let me close with a final request. I say it not as your president or commander-in-chief. I say it as a man.
I'm a man, Jack. Someone asked me, what's a man? I said, I got a penis. And they told me that these days, some men don't have penises. They have vaginas. So what the hell are we talking about, Jack? What are you doing, fat? But I know I'm a man. Ask Jill.
If I say it as a man who spent 50 years of his life serving his country in a different way, remember your oath. My son, Major Beau Biden, used to call it home base. That's a set of principles of values that give you light in darkness, that guide you.
And then you remember Mark Milley, General Mark Milley, delivered that speech during his retirement, saying our oath is not to a king or a dictator or want to be a dictator. Our oath is to the Constitution. And that also made MAGA very upset. I gotta say, obviously Morning Joe has had their downturns as of late here and there, but this was the most relatable reaction to Mike Johnson trying to squirm out of this that I've seen.
He was defining the crime of sedition. Okay, I don't. That is a factual statement. But obviously, attorneys have to parse the language and determine all that. What I will say unequivocally, is that was a wildly inappropriate thing for so-called leaders in Congress to do.
What about the wildly inappropriate thing Trump said, Mike? All of them doing this, I'm so sick of it. It's gone on too long. We've had too many bouts of this where Trump says something, we all know what he's saying, and he doesn't even deny it. He won't defend himself. He's like, yeah, I kind of said that. We're just too wussy now to follow through. But yeah, that's kind of what I would like. And then all of his defenders come out and go, well, no, he was making a sort of more broad philosophical argument about the complexities of laws around sedition and how if you dive into it's really a lawyer's brain that Trump was deploying about how you analyze. But lawyers will have to look into that, death or no death. I don't know. But that's really what Trump was getting at. No, he wasn't, and you know it, Mike.
Encourage young troops to disobey orders. I mean, think of what the threat that is to our national security and what it means to our institutions. We have got to raise the bar in Congress. This is out of control and is wildly inappropriate. And for a senator like Mark Kelly or any member of Congress in the House or Senate to be engaging in that kind of talk is to me just so beyond the pale.
So he lies so
it's
pretty.
Too much.
He lies so
easy.
pretty. I mean, it's too easy for him to lie.
Clutching the pearls.
Clutching the pearls.
Yep.
The fainting couch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was very rude of those press members to be standing all around. He had a fainting couch.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Beautiful pink satin fainting couch.
Don't tell JD. Do you get it?
What the hell happened to JD?
We do humor.
With all the frills, he was going to just flop over. I tell you, he was so shocked and stunned. These people are lying through their teeth. These people are lying through their teeth.
He didn't say it. It was just half.
It was like Joe Biden when he said fat. So anyway,
do that.
These people are lying through their teeth. Mike Johnson knows that this is all.
It's funny television stations still have laws around swearing. I find that so funny. It's like you could talk about Trump covering up a notorious pedophile sex trafficker's information, horrific abuses, but don't say the F-bomb. That the viewers cannot hear. That would be just too bad. And then they go, he didn't finish the word. Well, he finished a word. He was going to say effing, but he finished the main part. And of course, I'm too much of a wussy. I won't even swear on this show. I don't know why. My mommy watches. I can't. What did he mean by Biden saying fat?
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on MSNBC.
You don't hear that in MSNBC. You did not hear that at all. What you heard. Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, yeah, you do, but look, fat. Look, here's the deal.
It's so iconic. I don't know what he was trying to say. I didn't say it. I was going to say a fat F. I didn't say that. I just said fat. Listen, fat. Okay, so we talked about earlier in the show, just in the last segment, the Mamdani meeting in the Oval Office with Trump, and Trump was a different person. He loved Mamdani after calling him a communist and going to destroy New York City. He's wishing Mamdani the best. It's going to be great. He's such a great guy. And I don't know how MAGA's going to handle it, because they had all... I'll take this down for a second. And I saw Ron Filipkowski say, I'm laughing hysterically at this meeting. Republican campaign consultants built their entire midterm strategy around making Mamdani into the devil incarnate in the face of the Democratic Party. Then Trump slobbers all over him today in the Oval Office. And it's like, yeah, Trump just single-handedly destroyed their whole argument, which is Mamdani's the face of the Democratic Party nationally. For some reason, the New York City mayor is going to be the whole Democratic Party nationally. But he's the devil, and you have to be afraid of him, and he's the epitome of our enemy. And then Trump brings him in and is like, I really like this guy. He's kind of cool. And it ruins that whole narrative, and it ruins the lead up to it, where Fox News was going, showdown with socialism was the banner they had. And then the showdown with socialism was Trump slobbering all over, I guess, socialism. Then Aaron Rupar said, Trump feuding with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but being in love with Zohran Mamdani was not on my 2025 bingo card, November 2025. It's a strange world we're in, isn't it? Rick Scott, while Mamdani was on the way to the Oval Office, again, just the MAGA worldview just blew up. I don't know how they're going to respond. I don't know how they're going to square everything that Trump was saying about Mamdani and everything they believed about him and what he represented about the Democratic Party with how Trump treated him as his best friend, which is a little weird. I'm a little bit confused by that. I feel like, was Mamdani not straight up enough in their meeting before? I don't know. But it's going to work out well for New York City that Trump's not going to be as angry, clearly. But Rick Scott was so, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My heart rate went up so high. A podcast listener, Jaden, put up a photo of Rick Scott on the screen. Yeah, that Rick Scott. Said, here's the new face of the Democratic Party, a literal communist on his way to the White House to be schooled by Trump. Aw. It must be so sad for them. They were getting so excited. Trump's going to smack him down. It's going to be crazy. Oh, KO. And then it's just Trump like grabbing him like he grabbed MBS with affection. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to think of all that. Pretty crazy times.